Hey guys, welcome to lunch break here of a traveling soldier here, if you will, during this time of the year. Crazy busy, wouldn't have it any other way. Surely appreciate everybody's support, following, and this time of the year is crazy busy. Like I said, wait all year, for this time to get on the road and help folks out, and busy, but like I said, wouldn't have it any other way. Question that arises a lot this time of the year: folks are starting to build confidence, get some design work done, trying to get an idea on their food plot strategies, because as we as we talk throughout the season, your property it's a make or break deal as far as your food plot. You have to have food going into fall, whether that's in the form of plots, or is that in the form of standing ag, browse requirements, all that stuff, right, is tied into it. So this time of the year, it seems like this starts gauging up. It's a little premature to start talking about food plot plantings, but I think this is more of a food plot strategy, kind of getting an idea, a mindset for what are you going to plant in your plots? Are your plots in the right spot? The food plot, the food plot word, I guess, term starts to come up more and more as we go here. So today I had a day off on the road here between clients, halfway through a 17-day client trip here, 14 clients, covering like 6 states, I believe it is. So I wanted to reach out, stop long enough to get some video shot today, get some editing done, get some phone calls made, some questions and comments from folks that are out working on the projects, and kind of get geared up here for the second half of the trip. That topic, like I said, it's a very in-depth question. The question being, do I need summer food? Do we need to focus on summer food? What should I plant as far as summer food? And I've been kind of contacted, tagged in some comments, and everybody is looking for opinions, right? I've stayed out of the. There's kind of an arm wrestling match going on right now, lack of better terms, but in the industry, through some consultants that seem, maybe time and time again, that they all need to do that with each other. I'm not that guy. I do my own thing. I kind of keep to myself. More and more, the older I get, I do that. I used to go toe to toe with folks. I don't have the time to do that anymore, guys. I'm just bringing you raw truth of what I believe and what I see. And what I see is, when I'm asked and when that topic comes up, do we need summer food? It's not a one hat fits all answer. And sadly, that's kind of an industry standard out there, that folks answer that question. So you ask some consultants or some professionals, whether it's food plot or consulting, or they ask, and it's always yes, you need summer food. If you're not planting summer food, you're not doing the help the deer any justice by not planting summer food. Well, I believe that to a certain extent. Now, I'm going to answer this the best that I can, respectfully, for everybody involved. I think it's as a stewardist or a land manager, I think it's not right to just plant fall food just as an attractant, and to harvest deer off from, or build your property for that reason. The older I get, the more respect I have for them, the deer, and trying to keep them healthy, and recover after 20 to 30% body loss of the rut all over the country, no matter where you're at in a whitetail range. And then also supplying the correct nutrition for the does for lactation, and keeping their body healthy, so we have healthy fawns. Healthy fawns make big deer, and big antlers, and it all stems from those fawns and those does. So yes, I believe that we should have summer food in some situations. Now, there are some parts of the country, there are many parts of the country, that you have to really watch that. Now, on the flip side of that, there are many parts of the country, Upper Peninsula of Michigan, that need summer food. They need everything that we can give them now to help. Now on the other side of this, guys, there's so, like I said, there's so many moving parts to that, is because the more summer food that you give, so planning in the spring, getting that first initial jump start on that, if it's not built for a cover crop, if it's just going to be a summer food as of clover, well, if you're in the UP of Michigan and you're tuning into this, or northern Wisconsin and parts of Minnesota, well, you bring a bunch of deer to the plate, you're going to bring predation to the plate. And so that's a concern. You have to really watch that, because it's a real thing. So to just say, yes, everybody needs summer food, and if you're not planting summer food, you're doing your herd injustice. That's really, really wrong, totally wrong, and a horrible approach for some folks in certain areas of the country. But when we're talking soil conditions, when we're talking, planting something for a cover crop that may have a little summer food to it, then I'm all about it. And that's exactly what I'm doing in Kentucky when I'm building the property down there. I'm trying to build soil, and I'm also trying to build better cover crop, build a better cover crop program, so I have something more to mulch down on top of my brassica blends that I'm planting down there, in that August time period, or nearing September, middle of August down there, so we have that good standing biomass crop to crimp down on that as that mulch layer. So this week, here's an example. I was asked that question down in Alabama. Alabama is one of the parts of the country that I would not plant straight buckwheat. When you're trying to it's a great tool. There's a lot of people using it. I'm not the one that came up with the buckwheat deal. I do use it. I promote the Buffalo system. So all the folks that are attached to that, I won't name any names, but that's been great. The folks experienced that, brought it out. A lot of people are doing the buckwheat and or the no-till system, and it's great. But if it's straight buckwheat in the state of Alabama, where it's not arid, but it's it can get hot, and your deer are lacking water intake requirements, well, you plant straight buckwheat, they're going to eat it. Straight buckwheat, and they're going to eat it, every bit of it, and that's exactly what happens. So if you go with a brassica or a summer release, such as stuff from the that summer release programs, from such as like the green cover seeds, what you're going to find is there's a multitude of seeds in there. It's a blend, and one of the reasons it's a blend is they don't destroy all of it. So does it have a little summer food? Yes, it does. Has some clover, has some base to it, but it's not over bearing. So because in a lot of parts of the country, is the simple, the fact, the raw truth is if you bring too many of those does to an area, and this is a question, will it destroy my property? Does it have the potential to destroy my property because I bring too many does? Some folks are going to tell you there's no possible way you can bring too many does to the plate. That's a myth. I've never seen one comment that I was sent from one of the consultants or someone that's doing consulting. You can't bring enough of that, the does to the plate, and you'll never chase bucks out of your property. And that's horrible information, because I see that daily. But it all boils back to it's a complete program. It's not just a summer. Do I need summer? Do I need summer plots, or do I not? And the reason for that is, guys, is that's why I do what I do on these properties, and I study what you have, what you don't have, because like I say, guys, 80% of the properties that I visit aren't habitat correct. Not only are they not habitat correct, they're not habitat correct in the right areas. So if you take that into consideration, and you use the kind of the term or the slogan that, if you follow the channel, you've heard me say time and time again, your food plots are only as good as the browse that backs them. And that's exactly right. Anywhere north, or you start getting into the Midwest, and it never drops below 50% of a deer's intake, never drops below that as far as browse. Now you start creeping up in the Midwest, and you start going up into the north or the northeast, and 80-90% of a deer's intake is woody browse. Well, it doesn't matter how good your summer program is at all. If you're not reaching the browse requirements that the deer need to survive in the winter, it doesn't matter how healthy your deer are going to be in the summer, because they're not going to make it through the winter, so it's a full circle program to me, and that's why I go the extra mile with my clients. I'm always inside the doe bedding areas. We're always internal to the property. We're always looking at your logging. We're always on the transition. We're creating other food. And then when we're asked, hey, do I need summer food, which I am, and I touch on that in my tailor-made habitat packages that I make, not only my handbook that I give my clients, but also, through that habitat plan, I answer that question. And sometimes it's yes, I recommend that you plant summer food. Other times it's no, I just recommend that you plant a cover crop with a little summer food in it to help build the soil. And if they eat some of the the summer value, then great, but you're not going to draw a mecca of does to your area and run everything out as far as bucks. And unless the habitat is correct nearest to your food sources to hold the does, your does are going to, the more does that you invite to the table, they are going to saturate the entire property when they leave that table to go find the correct habitat to bed. And what that does is it pushes bucks further out. Now, with that said, like I said, another moving part is it ever, some folks look at it as, is it a bad thing to have all the deer in the neighborhood, all the does living on your property? Because then, like we say, is that releases does from areas that now potential bucks could, the does come to the property, and then maybe if the buck wasn't on yours and not on your neighbor's, maybe he's closer now, right? And there's truth to that, and I believe that as well. But we need to have a well-rounded property. You can't have a well-rounded property without the correct browse and the correct food plots in the fall and the summer. So it all has to connect with each other. And I think it's instead of just saying yes or no when asked, that is just right off the cuff. You need to have some knowledge, you need to have some backing, you need to have some experience before you just start throwing that term at folks and tell everybody in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, eastern end of the Upper Peninsula of Michigan right now, yes, you need summer food, plant a bunch of clover, and you kill off not only their herd, you kill off half the county's herd, because you're inviting more dinner to the plate for wolves. So I encourage you not to listen to that approach. Hopefully that you get the raw truth information from someone like me. You have to dig deep. You have to know what recommendation you're giving. You have to know what else is on the property, per area, per region, and then have a realistic, like I say, a realistic expectation. Learn how to plant those, learn how to get the best out of it, and set yourself up so you can have good soil, good health on the deer, and you have something to be able to crimp down on your fall food plots. Because yes, they need summer food, or summer food and summer browse and everything that comes with that, but also maybe more importantly than that, they need fall food to get through the fall. Because if they don't have fall food, further south, maybe it's not as important. The further north you go, it's very important, because if you leave them stranded, you're not doing anything as far as a steward is either. So everybody seems to be focused on summer food and how much you need to plant, but everybody is forgetting about how important where I come from, browse and fall food is. Because as soon as the bucks go back to eating, they're rebounding, and if they don't rebound, you're going to see antler restrictions, as far as not antler point restrictions, but antler restrictions. You're going to place a restriction on your antler growth for the following year. If you don't keep your does healthy during the winter, you're going to have dead fawns, you're going to have dead does, and it all trickles back. So is it a rounded kind of a full circle program? Yes, it is. But to answer the question, do you need summer food or do you not, I'd love to have the opportunity to help you figure that out, and I'd like to study that with you, because it's not just a one hat covers everybody. It's not a one answer answers everybody's problems, and it's a very in-depth situation, but I encourage you not to overlook it if you're in one of the areas that might need it. But I also encourage you to treat it very kindly before you start a summer food program. Figure out what you need. Are you doing it for food, or are you doing it to have a summer crop built in tall biomass, so you have something to crimp and roll down on top of your fall food plots, guys. So I hope that shed some light on that, guys. On the road, busy, and going to be taking as much time as we can to bring you as many videos as we can this time of the year, but also have a lot of clients, you know, to meet and greet, and properties to build along the way. So I appreciate everybody reaching out this week, you know, checking on videos and wondering where I was, what I'm doing. So between Kentucky and Michigan and running back and forth with not only kids and family, but also doing the you know, the business as well. So very busy time of the year. Appreciate everybody. Stay tuned. We'll be kind of staying on top of the videos here for you guys. Thanks.